right, so are you ready to like supercharge your vocabulary?
I'm so ready.
Okay, cool.
Let's do it.
So we're going to be talking about like fun ways to boost your vocabulary because we know you don't like just memorizing stuff, right? That's no fun.
No one likes that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we found this really cool podcast episode that has like tons of really creative tips and techniques. And like they're not just flashcards and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah. So get ready for some like serious word power.
I love it.
Right.
Yeah, this podcast episode is really cool. Like, one of the things I really liked about it was how they talk about making vocabulary learning like part of your everyday life, like not just a chore, but something that you actually enjoy and like integrate into your routine.
I love that.
You know?
Yeah. And, you know, you mentioned that you love games.
I do.
So let's start with some apps that kind of tap into that.
Okay.
So you've probably heard of Duolingo, right? For language learning. Yeah. But did you know it can also help you like improve your English skills?
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
You didn't know that.
I know. It's pretty neat. But, you know, if you're already pretty good with English, Duolingo might seem a little basic.
Yeah, that's true.
So if you want to like really like dive in, I'd recommend apps like vocabulary.com.
Okay.
They use algorithms to like tailor the experience to your strengths and weaknesses.
Wow.
It's kind of like having a personal vocabulary trainer, right?
It's awesome.
Yeah. So I've also heard great things about WordUp. Have you heard of that one?
I've heard of it, yeah.
Yeah, it's supposed to be all about like understanding words in context.
Right.
Not just like memorizing definitions.
Yeah. So I think that's really important.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. And WordUp is great for visual learners.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because they use multimedia like movie clips and song lyrics.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So you can see how the words are used like in real life.
Right, exactly. So it's not just like looking at a definition, it's like seeing the word in action.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so you kind of absorb the vocabulary naturally.
Yeah, that makes sense.
As you enjoy the content.
It's kind of like how we pick up new slang from watching our favorite shows.
Like you don't even realize you're learning.
Yeah, you're just like...
You're just enjoying it.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I know what that word means.
Exactly, and then you start using it and people are like, whoa, where'd you learn that?
I know, right?
Oh, no.
Okay, so speaking of visual learning, there's another app that I think we should mention.
Okay.
Vocab Full, Victor English Pictures, Vocabulary Builder.
Oh, yeah.
You heard of that one?
I have heard of that one.
Yeah, so it uses images and like visual associations to help you remember words.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's kind of like creating mental snapshots in your mind.
Yeah, I can see how that would be helpful.
Yeah, it's really cool. I've actually been trying it out recently and like the images are surprisingly helpful. It's so much easier to recall a word when you have like a vivid picture associated with it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it really taps into that like visual memory that we have.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Which can be like super strong.
It can be really powerful.
Okay, so now if you like enjoy the challenge of quizzes and games.
Yes.
Quizlet is a classic.
Love Quizlet.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like super versatile.
It is.
You can make your own flashcards.
Right.
Or you can use like their massive library of pre-made sets.
Yeah, there's so many options on there.
And they have those fun games too that make studying way less boring.
They do, and the games are really engaging.
Yeah.
Like you actually want to keep playing.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is great for learning.
It doesn't feel like a chore.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and they offer like different study modes too, including one called Learn, which uses spaced repetition.
Oh, yeah.
To help you remember words like long term.
I love spaced repetition.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, right?
It's so effective.
Yeah, so it's basically based on the idea that we retain information better when we revisit it at like increasing intervals.
Right, like you review it and then you review it again later and then you review it again even later and it just like cements it in your brain.
Yeah, it's like a brain hack.
It is a brain hack.
For vocabulary retention.
Love it.
I like it.
Yeah.
I'm always forgetting words that I've learned, so maybe like spaced repetition is the key.
It could be.
We'll see.
Yeah.
All right, so now I'm someone who struggles with remembering those really tricky, like obscure words.
Yes, those are tough.
Yeah. What do you recommend for those?
So for those tough to remember words, I would say Memorize is a game changer.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've heard of Memorize.
Yeah, they use mnemonics, which are like memory tricks to help you create memorable associations with words.
Okay.
So it could be like funny rhymes, silly images, or even like outrageous stories that link a word to its meaning.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can see how that would work.
It's really effective.
Yeah.
Because it's like you're creating this like vivid image in your mind and it just sticks.
Oh my gosh. I once used a mnemonic so ridiculous to remember a word that I still can't say it with a straight face.
That's awesome.
But it definitely works.
It works.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Because our brains are wired to remember things that stand out.
Exactly. The more unusual or unexpected the connection, the better.
Right.
Makes sense. And Memrise also incorporates like short videos featuring diverse accents.
Oh, cool.
So you can learn the correct pronunciation along with the meaning.
So it's like a mini pronunciation masterclass.
It is.
Built right in.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I know, right?
Especially since English has so many like regional variations.
Oh, so many.
Yeah.
It can be really confusing.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
All right. So any other apps that you'd recommend before we move on to vocabulary games?
Yeah, actually, there's one more that I think is really cool.
Okay.
If you want to improve your overall communication skills while also expanding your vocabulary, I would say Elevate is a fantastic app.
Elevate?
Yeah. It's designed like a brain training program with games and exercises that target different aspects of like reading, writing, and speaking.
Cool. So it's like a gym for your brain.
It is like a gym for your brain.
But like way more fun than lifting weights.
Way more fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, and what's cool about Elevate is that it adapts to your skill level.
Oh, wow.
So it gives you personalized challenges that push you just enough to keep you engaged.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and they also have like short, focused games that you can easily fit into your busy schedule.
Yeah.
Even if you only have a few minutes.
Yeah, so it's perfect for like when you're waiting in line or commuting.
Yes, a little brain boost on the go.
Exactly.
Ah.
A little bit. Every day it goes a long way.
Okay, so are you ready to unleash your inner word wizard?
Yes.
And dive into some vocabulary games?
Let's do it.
All right, bring on the games.
Bring them on.
Awesome.
Okay.
Cool. So
games are like seriously the best way to like put your vocabulary to the test and have fun while you're doing it.
Yeah, I'm all about learning disguised as entertainment.
Me too.
So what's first on our game list?
Okay, let's start with a classic duo. Scrabble in words with friends.
Oh, yeah. Love those.
Yeah, so they're not just about knowing a lot of words.
Right.
It's about strategy.
Yeah.
Thinking on your feet.
Totally.
Being able to, like, outsmart your opponent.
Oh, there's nothing like the feeling of playing a high-scoring word.
Yes.
And just seeing their jaw drop.
Oh, it's so satisfying.
I know.
Yeah, and, like, in the heat of the moment, you might even, like, reach for a word that you didn't even realize you knew.
That happens to me all the time.
Right.
And then I'm like, oh, I guess I do know that word.
Exactly. And then you're like, oh, and it works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Plus, those official Scrabble dictionaries are like a gold mine of vocabulary.
They are.
I've definitely discovered some obscure gems in there.
Yeah, they're great for like expanding your vocabulary even further. Okay, so Scrabble and Words with Friends are great for strategy and word formation.
Right.
What about games that like challenge your knowledge of definitions and trivia?
Oh, crossword puzzles are perfect for that.
Yeah.
It's like a mental workout for your vocabulary.
Totally.
Yeah, it forces you to think about like word meanings, synonyms, even parts of speech.
Oh, I love the feeling of satisfaction when you finally crack a tricky clue.
It's the best.
I know, it's like a real brain boost.
Yeah, it's a great feeling.
And the great thing about crossword puzzles is that there's like a level for everyone.
Yeah.
You can start with beginner puzzles.
Right.
And work your way up.
Exactly.
The New York Times crossword is my personal nemesis.
Oh, yeah, those are tough.
But I'm slowly working my way up the ranks.
Good for you.
Thanks. Any tips for crossword newbies?
I would say don't be afraid to use all the resources available to you, like dictionaries, thesauruses, even online crossword solvers.
Yeah.
They can be really helpful.
Totally.
Especially when you get stuck. It's all part of the learning process.
Now, if you're looking for something a little more relaxing, but still vocabulary rich, word searches and word puzzles like Wordscapes are great options.
No, Wordscapes is so visually appealing too.
Yes.
With those like beautiful backgrounds.
It's almost meditative.
It is.
Especially when you get into that flow state of finding words.
It's like you just zone out and the words just start appearing.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's amazing how many words we can uncover when we like relax and let our minds wander.
So true. Speaking of letting your mind wander, have you ever played Boggle?
Oh, Boggle is a classic.
Yeah.
It's so much fun.
It's a great way to test your pattern recognition skills.
Yeah, and your quick thinking.
Oh, for sure. I always feel like I'm racing against the clock.
You are racing against the clock.
And the best part is you can play it with friends and family.
Yes.
So it adds like a fun social element.
It's a great reminder that learning doesn't have to be a solitary activity.
Yeah.
It can be something that you enjoy with others.
So true. All right. Let's not forget about a simple yet effective game.
Okay.
That's perfect for learning spelling.
Okay. I know what you're going to say.
Hangman.
Hangman.
It's a classic for a reason.
Yes, it is.
It's easy to learn.
Right.
But it can still be surprisingly challenging.
It can be tough sometimes.
Especially if you're playing with someone who's really good at choosing words.
Right.
It's a great way to practice, like, recognizing letter patterns.
Yeah.
And understanding how words are structured.
For sure. And it's fun for people of all ages, so you can play it with kids, too.
Oh, we love playing Hangman with our family.
Wow, that's so cute.
We even, like, make up themed rounds, like animals or countries.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Just to make it a little more educational.
Yeah, that's a fun way to, like, reinforce vocabulary in specific areas.
Exactly. Okay, so we've covered a variety of apps and games.
We have.
All designed to make vocabulary building, like, fun and engaging.
Right. It doesn't have to be boring.
But our deep dive doesn't stop there.
There's more.
Oh yeah, there's more.
We're just getting started.
I'm ready to explore even more ways to level up my word power.
I'm excited to share them with you.
Awesome. What else do we have in store? Okay, so we've talked about apps and games for vocabulary.
Yeah, all kinds of fun stuff.
Yeah, but there's like a whole world beyond the digital realm, right?
Oh, absolutely. There are so many creative ways to like build your vocabulary just in your everyday life.
I love that.
Yeah, it's all about being curious and finding what works for you.
Yeah, it's like turning life into a giant vocabulary treasure hunt.
Exactly.
So what are some of your favorite offline techniques?
Okay, well, one of my favorites is something I call Word of the Day.
Oh, what?
Super simple, but surprisingly effective. So each day you just choose a new word that you want to learn.
Okay.
Maybe from a book you're reading or a conversation you overhear.
Yeah.
And you just kind of focus on that word for the day.
I've tried that before, and it's amazing how quickly those words start popping up everywhere.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it's like your brain is suddenly tuned in to that specific word.
It's like your brain is on a mission to find that word.
Exactly.
Yeah. So once you've chosen your word of the day,
okay,
take a few minutes to really explore it. Look up the definition, the etymology, synonyms, antonyms, maybe even try using it in a sentence or two.
Oh, that reminds me of another technique I found helpful, keeping a vocabulary journal.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a personalized dictionary where you can write down new words, their meanings,
right?
And even like example sentences or little creative writing snippets using those words.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that idea.
It's really cool.
Yeah, it's a great way to like personalize your learning and make those words your own.
Totally. And speaking of creative writing,
yes,
there's nothing quite like the power of reading to expand your vocabulary.
Oh, absolutely.
Whether you're into fiction or nonfiction, books are just overflowing with rich language.
It's true. You're exposed to so many new words and different writing styles.
Yeah, I'm a huge believer in the power of reading.
Me too.
I always have a book on the go. It's amazing how many new words you encounter just by diving into a good story or an informative article.
And with apps like Kindle, it's so easy to look up definitions right in the text.
Yeah, no more flipping through those giant dictionaries.
Right.
You know, it's another sneaky way to pick up new vocabulary.
What's that?
Watching movies or shows with subtitles.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, you're exposed to so many different words and phrases in context.
Right, especially slang and idioms.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you're immersing yourself in real-world conversations, even if they're happening on a screen.
I love that.
Yeah. And, you know, you can also play word games with friends and family.
Oh, yeah.
Like 20 questions.
Fun.
But using words instead of objects.
Yeah, that's a good twist.
Yeah, it's a fun way to test your knowledge and learn from each other.
It's a great way to make vocabulary building a social activity.
Exactly, because learning should be fun.
It should be.
If it feels like a chore, you're less likely to stick with it.
Right. It's about finding that joy in the learning process, cultivating that love of language.
Well, I think our deep dive has provided a ton of inspiration.
I hope so.
For anyone looking to boost their vocabulary.
Yeah.
We've covered apps, games, creative techniques, even sneaky ways to learn from everyday experiences.
It's all out there.
Yeah, and it's clear that there's no one-size-fits-all approach to vocabulary learning.
Definitely not.
The key is to find methods that resonate with you.
Right.
And that you can easily integrate into your life.
Find what works for you.
Exactly. It's about finding what sparks your curiosity.
Yeah.
And ignites that passion for words.
Love that.
So here's a final thought for you to ponder as you embark on your own vocabulary adventure.
Okay, I'm ready.
As you encounter new words, don't just focus on their definitions.
Okay.
Delve deeper into their etymology, their origins and evolution.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, you'll be amazed at the fascinating stories hidden within those words.
I bet.
Stories that connect us to history, culture.
Wow.
And the very essence of human expression. It is, right? It's like each word holds a tiny piece of history, a whisper from the past.
I love that.
Yeah, and as you uncover those stories, those hidden connections, you'll find that your vocabulary becomes more than just a collection of words.
Right.
It becomes a tapestry of meaning, a reflection of your own unique journey through the world of language.
That's so powerful.
Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive.
It's been fun.
Into the fascinating world of vocabulary.
Yes.
We hope you've gained some valuable insights and a renewed sense of excitement for the power of words.
The power of words.
Until next time, keep those dictionaries handy.
Yes.
Those ears tuned in.
Keep listening.
And those minds open to the endless possibilities of language.
Happy word exploring.
Bye.